Alrighty, what's up guys? Today we're going over 75020 Jabba's Sail Barge. So this sail barge that you're seeing actually came out way back in 2013. It isn't a re-release as much as we like that. And I bought this because I have a big mod project that I want to do to it. I want to turn it into some sort of cruiser. So I ended up getting this thing on eBay pre-owned, but luckily I have all the figures in here. I even got that sweet Max Rebo sitting back there. And it even came with the box, so we're in pretty good shape. But let's go ahead and start with the exterior and then we'll head inside. I guess the two biggest exterior details to get out of the way are these two massive sails so that you guys can see the set a little bit better. These are made of plastic. The first Jabba sail barge, they were made of a kind of a cloth, but these could be bent in a bag for a long time. Like these showed up in a Ziploc bag, bent over, hunched over a whole bunch of pieces, and they're still in real good condition. But both of these sails are the same, so we're going to pop them off so you can get a better look at the set. So starting up at the front here, on the older set, they actually use some like angled bricks upside down and then stacked them way high. These are stacked the right side up and they are just some nice slow bricks going all the way up. This middle section, however, is made of plates, and that's because it's hiding a nice little actual like pirate's cannon sitting in here. They do give you some ammunition for this, so you can shoot it off and play with it. Ultimately, though, I do keep this area closed because it looks a little funky with the door wide open. But the way the cannon works is real simple. You open up the door and it'll actually come out by itself thanks to some slope bricks, and then it will also go back in by itself, so you don't have to push it further back in. This set is on wheels, so it makes it really easy for us to just wheel it on by to get onto the next section. But heading down the midsection, we do have some nice angled bricks to help round it out from the front to get into the wider midsection. And then on this midsection, you can start seeing a lot of these stickers that are on 2x2s. There are a whole lot of these around the entire set. But overall, not much is going on with these walls besides the windows and the stickers. Nice little windows, though. You can close them up to get that nice, sleek, smooth look going down the entire side. So on this second section, we do continue those stickers that we saw in that front section right there earlier. And you will see a whole lot of these stickers going on the window flaps that are on these portions. And as well this sticker that is on the flat tile pieces going all around. But they are nice detail. It does really make it look like Jabba's Sail Barge in Return of the Jedi. How it was just small little cutouts that you could barely poke through. Or you could actually crack the windows open like they do on some portions of the ship and see all the way through. But these are the only two windows that open on the rear wall section. And then just underneath the window a little bit, we do have this nice stabilizer fin, or that's what I'm assuming it's for, but it does come off the side and it does have a small amount of posability. It does have two joint points, so you can move it around quite a bit and make a whole lot of funky designs if you want to. So then getting onto this rear section, we have more of these stickers that I mentioned earlier, and as well more of these 2x2s around here earlier. But it does use these nice curved slope pieces going all around the top half to have this nice little overhang going around the entire top half and the back. But overall, not much back here besides that sticker detailing. So then moving just beneath these windows, we do have the engines or some kind of exhaust for the sail barge. Now, we know the sail barge in universe is kind of a speeder. It's not a spaceship. It's not an out-of-atmosphere vessel. So I wouldn't anticipate that these are engines. I think in universe, these would be more of exhausts. Or they may be the repulsor lifts that help keep the vehicle off the ground. So now we're on the top deck and we'll go ahead and start up at the front. And normally right here, smack dab in the center, there is that other mast piece. So keep that into account. You don't have this minifigure space right here. But on this front half, there's not really much going on. I do like how they use the skeleton minifigure legs to use as like fence posts to put this guardrail around. Then further down the midsection, we do have this nice little turret. And these turret barrels are actually flick fire missiles, so you can push both of them out and shoot them out if you'd like to. But I keep it in there so it looks like a nice full turret with some real long, mean barrels. So besides the two flick fire missiles, it doesn't have much detail. Has a nice little cheese wedge and a stud there to maybe simulate some shaping of some internals and such. You do have this red Technic pin that hangs out on the back. I'm not sure exactly why and what kind of detail this is supposed to emulate. Maybe some kind of handle for when you're aiming the turret. But overall, it looks a little wonky. We know those Technic pins do come in black, so it would look a whole lot better if they just made that black to go with the rest of the turret. So I'm not too sure why that's hanging out, but luckily enough, it doesn't take away from the look of the turret too much. So on this last and highest level, there is no detail out on the ground. It is just flat plates, but on both sides, or on one side, but you can attach it on both sides, you do have this nice little turret build. So I went ahead and took it off so you can get a better look at that, but overall, it looks like it's just a camera piece with a nice cone on the end. It makes for a nice little turret, and it has real great posability on this portion of the set. So now that we've hit the entire exterior, we'll go ahead and tear off the roof and we'll head inside. Alrighty guys, so now that we've torn off everything, we can get on to the inside, and we are at the front of the ship. We're just on the opposite side that we were reviewing prior, because this is a jail cell, and LEGO includes jail bars on the one side so that kids and anybody playing with the set can get their fingers in on this side to actually pose figures in there. But it is a pretty spacious spot. You do have a little bit of extra space underneath this little arch. But it is a nice little spacious area. You can fit quite a few figures if you're standing them up or sitting them down. But it is nice. You do have the jail bars on this far side. And then you actually do have a jail door. There's no mechanism to lock it, so it does just fly open. But it is nice that they include that door there. And then on the other side of the jail cell, just beneath it, it actually does have the cannon ammo. Some nice transparent red cylinders. And I put a frying pan piece in there just because I ran out of clips in the next section to hold it on. So speaking of the next section, let's go ahead and get onto it. It is a nice little kitchen just right outside the prison area. So you can see just next to the prison door on the left side, there is a clip for weapons or the frying pan in the instructions case. So in the rear there, you can see that there is a nice little stove to do a little bit of cooking. You have some nice berries, a fish, and as well as a chicken wing. Now there should be 2 more studs included in there, but those were the only 2 pieces I was missing from the entire set. And then just on the left side there, you can see that there's a nice little bin that has a real fancy print on top. So going over this nice little storage bin, you can see that there's a little bit of Orabesh written across the top and then as well on the keypad. I don't know what that translates to. I'm sure somebody in the comments or a viewer will. But it is a nice little secure container. It looks like that it's locked up. So Jabba really has some nice treasure in here he doesn't want anybody grabbing. So the next interior segment going from the kitchen is actually Jabba's main room. And this is where Jabba and Slave Leia will sit looking out the window above the Sarlacc pit. And the detail they put in this section is pretty nice. They added this nice 2-color carpet to make it seem a little bit more elegant than other parts of the ship. Since it is where Jabba is going to reside most of the time, it makes sense that it's a little bit more elegant and a little bit higher quality to show his position in the entire clan. But overall, it's a nice area. Minus the little carpet, there's just a few grills there and not much other detail. But it does fit Jabba well, and as well as some little extra space for a few other figures. So the last section on this set is actually where the superstar of every Jabba's Sail Barge set there has ever been sits. And this is where Max Rebo is going to hang out. So I don't know the name of this instrument in universe, but this is the instrument that Max Rebo is playing in the movie. And I like that they've included this on both builds. And on this one, it overall looks really good. He sits real comfortably in the middle, and then the exterior detail with the nice cheese wedges and the studs looks real great. They do have these like backrests here, but they do leave one section open to show that somebody could actually walk in there and play the instrument and then walk out. It's nice little extra details like that they didn't have to do, but they did, and I appreciate that. And to get a closer look at this, it is just sitting on that swivel plate down there, but you can see the cheese wedges and then the golden studs I was mentioning. Makes a nice exterior detail on the outside for this little instrument. And then I believe these tan pieces on the inside would represent the buttons that he's pressing. So speaking of Max Rebo, this is a good time to go over the minifigures. So Max Rebo is probably the most coveted minifigure out of any Jabba's Sail Barge set. And I don't quite know why, other than the fact that he looks goofy and we like him for that. But overall, he looks really good. His head mold is real nice and unique to him. His body and legs are just plain blue. Nothing special about him. You could probably source them from other figures. But the head mold is pretty unbeatable. It is a little bit flexy. You're not supposed to like flex on the ears and the nose bit and the rear bit of it. But you totally can. It is a nice, flexible, soft little mold. So our next minifigure line is Ree-Yees. Now, I used to know a lot of Star Wars alien species off the top of my head, but this is one of them that I never learned. He's the species that has the 3 eyes that protrude out off his head. He does have these fins coming off the side of his head. And his head mold is really good. It's kind of hard to tell, but it is also that flexible plastic. You can just barely tell in the eyes right there. But it is that flexible plastic that just barely can bend. Of course, it's not meant to, but it is not a hard plastic piece. So his chest mold is brown. It's a little hard to see, but it almost just looks like a knit sweater with lines going up and down it, and then a nice little belt with a few pouches. So not a whole lot going on there, but he does look pretty good. And the same knit sweater design goes around on that backside. So now we have our Weequay pirate, and this is the same race or species that Hondo Ohnaka is in his pirate gang. Overall, I really didn't think I would care about this figure, but now that I'm playing with the set and using it, it's honestly one of my favorites. So the face print for this Weequay figure is overall pretty good. Man, was that Weequay figure hard to say so many times. But it's pretty good. They put a nice lot of detail into getting the wrinkles and overall all the lines that go on those guys right. He does have a little bit of an angry face. No alternate head, of course, because you wouldn't be able to cover it up. But he does have a nice ponytail that extends onto his back print. And since we're back here, we may as well go around this and then hit the front side. His back print overall is pretty simple. Just some nice lines going across to simulate some basic detail as well as a belt. And then going on to the front side is where you'll, of course, see more body detail. So it looks like he's wearing maybe some kind of armor. He has a few rivets going across the top. You can see his belt buckle and then a nice little belt pouch sitting there. So this figure is actually pretty nice. They got the printing real well on the Slave Leia like gear and the skirt going down. They did the design as best they could, and as well as the colors. It is a little bit reflective, so it does kind of shine a bit, those gold parts. So Slave Leia does actually have two faces on this set. One where she's just happy and minding her own business. And then another one where she's a little ticked off at what's going on. And then while we're on the backside, you can see there's not a whole lot of detail back here except for the straps that hold up the entire garment. So putting the headpiece back on, one thing I will say about this headpiece, maybe it's just mine, but this thing comes off incredibly easily. I'll barely nick it and it's almost coming off the minifigure's head. But besides that, this headpiece is pretty nice. You do have the like gold hair tie at the bottom and then the hair clips at the top. It looks real good. It just comes off a little too easily. So this R2-D2 figure is pretty nice. I'm fairly certain it's the standard R2-D2 from the time, with some added on pieces. And it's pretty good. I do like the addition of the cups to really fit it into the scene. But minus that, it is just that standard R2-D2. So the last figure in this set actually being big figure Jabba. This is also the first Jabba I've ever had. So it's pretty nice to actually have one of these guys. I won't really use him in this set because he takes up so much space. But it is pretty neat to have. The only posability he has is his torso up top rotates. And then his arms both independently rotate as well. And his arms are still the same like interior diameter as minifigure hands. So it can hold on to standard rods or the top of the chain brick to hold on to Leia as well. It's not an enlarged big fig hand. But it is a nice figure. It does have some nice wrinkles and detail to signify all his layers and his fat and glob that he's made out of. And I didn't even notice this before, but I guess Jabba has a tattoo on his left arm there, or on his right arm right there. Alrighty guys, so that's all we have for the 2013 Jabba's Sail Barge. I hope you guys did enjoy. This was, like I said before, definitely a childhood dream come true to finally own a sail barge of my own. So be on the lookout for a mod video based on this set. I am going to mod this. I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy about like modding a classic set and tearing apart the classic pieces and adding in some new ones. So other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you want to leave a comment of any sets you want me to mod or make alternate builds of, you guys just let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace, fellas.